If you've ever been in a meeting where two dashboards show two different revenue numbers and everyone swears their number is correct, you already understand why a semantic layer is important. Most companies like to believe they have one definition for things like revenue or churn, but in reality, those definitions get rebuilt over and over again, slightly different each time. A semantic layer is what finally stops that drift. Let's break it down. Welcome to Between the Columns, quick, practical videos from Atlan that make modern data concepts easy to understand. A business glossary tells you what a term means in human language. Revenue is money earned from customer purchases. A semantic layer takes that meaning and turns it into machine-readable logic, the exact calculation that every tool should use. Something like, calculate the sum of the amount where the status is complete, exclude refunds, join to the customer table on customer ID so we know who it belongs to, then aggregate by month. So the glossary gives you the words, and the semantic layer is the code behind the words. So there's no room for creative interpretation. And here's why that matters. Without a semantic layer, every team implements logic as they see fit. So finance builds revenue one way, marketing builds it another, analysts rebuild it in SQL, notebooks, and BI tools over and over again. And that's how you end up with two smart people walking into the same meeting with two different answers. And both are technically right according to their version of the logic. A semantic layer fixes that by making business meaning explicit and executable. You define metrics like revenue, churn, and retention once. You save that logic in a governed place that's machine readable, versioned, and reusable. And then every tool calls that same logic automatically through a metric API, a semantic connector, or SQL on metrics. That's how consistency becomes automatic instead of just a hopeful wish. A semantic layer matters for three big reasons. First, consistency. You dramatically reduce metric drift and stop the endless which dashboard is correct debate. Second, speed. Analysts don't rebuild logic from scratch. They use trusted definitions over and over again. Third, trust. People know the number that they see is backed by governed logic, not someone's one-off query. It also becomes essential for self-service, because without a semantic layer, self-service really means have fun translating this, which quietly turns into chaos. A semantic layer creates shared guardrails, so everyone uses the same meaning, the same logic, and the same truth. Your glossary defines what the business means. Your semantic layer defines how that meaning is calculated everywhere. So human readable is to glossary, as machine readable is to semantic layer. And that's how you scale clarity, prevent metric arguments, and turn being data-driven from a heroic effort into a repeatable, reliable system.